Hey everyone, we're in the middle of a series called Cheat Codes, and if you're into online or video games, then you've probably heard that phrase before. Cheat codes are the guides or methods that help you do things like advance to new levels, get special powers, and generally win the game faster. And when you have cheat codes, you have the shortcut to win. Of course, these cheat codes only exist in the gaming world. Finding the way to win in real life isn't so simple. But the good news is, God hasn't left us to figure it out on our own. In fact, God's given us the best cheat code for nearly every situation in our lives, and that's wisdom. Remember, wisdom is doing what's best for you and the people around you. It's not just what's right, it's what's best. Wisdom helps you see the right way forward when life gets complicated. It helps you make choices that lead to what's best for you, choices that honor God and put you on the path toward living the kind of life that God has for you. In other words, wisdom helps us win at life. It's the cheat code we need to navigate anything that tests us.
Heck yeah!
Including what we're talking about today. Before we get there, check out this quick story.
One of the times I struggle with patience, actually many of the times I struggle with patience, is when I'm waiting after practice for my brother to come pick me up. It can be 10, 15 minutes, everybody else is gone, and I'm just sitting there waiting for him while he's at home playing Minecraft. All I want to do is go home, I want to eat, I want to shower, I want to do some of my homework, and I have to sit there and wait for him. And those are the times that I struggle with patience. Ian.
Can you relate? I'm sure you can. We all have something that tests our patience, something that's difficult or frustrating for us to deal with. When your sibling keeps using the hot water, so you have to take a cold shower. Patience tested. When you told your parents that practice was going to end at 6:30, but it's almost 7 and you're waiting on the sidewalk wondering if they forgot about you.
Patience tested.
When you send that text to your best friend, but all you see is that gray typing bubble with no response yet.
Patience tested.
There are so many times in life when patience is tested, like waiting for that Amazon package to arrive, or waiting for the Wi-Fi to buffer, waiting until you're old enough to get the cell phone or drive a car, waiting in line, waiting for school to get out, for summer break. You see what I mean? There are so many things in our daily lives that require patience. I bet some of you are struggling to be patient with your friends. They might be acting differently and you're wondering what's made them change. You might be wondering how long it will be until that relationship feels normal again. Having to be patient with them in the process, it isn't easy. Some of you are struggling to be patient with the adults in your home. You wish they'd try to see things from your perspective and you want to be understood by them, but they can't seem to do it. And instead of having patience while they figure it out, you just feel frustrated. There might even be some of you who are struggling to have patience with yourself. You wish you were a better student, a better athlete, a better friend. And instead of being patient with yourself, you find yourself focusing on all the ways you could be better instead. Or maybe you're even struggling to find patience with God. Maybe you've prayed and prayed and prayed for something, but it feels like nothing is happening. And you start to wonder if God is even listening to you at this point. Sure, you believe God can do something to change the situation or circumstance that you're praying about, but you're struggling to find the patience to see it happen at this point. You see, we all struggle with patience. It's just part of life. And when we do, what happens? Well, if you're like me, you complain, you get annoyed, you get frustrated, you might even give up. But while all of these may be natural responses, they definitely don't make the situation any better. In fact, they could actually make the wait, the situation, or the relationship that requires patience a lot worse. And none of us wants that, do we? In life, patience is part of the process. And that means if we really want the life that God has for us, we've got to figure out a way to let patience be a part of it. We've got to find the cheat code to help us be more patient. When it comes to patience, we're going to look where I think all of life's best cheat codes are stored: the Bible. After all, the Bible is God's words and wisdom given to us to help us navigate life in a way that honors God. Today, we're going to look at some words from a guy named Solomon, who was considered an expert at being wise. It's his words that make up most of the book of the Bible called Proverbs. What's cool about Proverbs is that it was written to provide us with wisdom. You know when people talk about someone who is really good at something? Like,
Mateo's really good at Fortnite. He can tell you everything you need to know about it.
well, that's what Solomon did for wisdom. So today, we're going to read some of Solomon's wisdom about patience. Let's take a look. A person's wisdom yields patience. Proverbs 19:11. Okay, for starters, Solomon said that patience is a direct result of one thing: wisdom. If we want to be patient, we need God's wisdom to help us get there. The more wisdom we have, the more patience we'll have. And the less wisdom we have, the less patience we'll have. Remember, we said wisdom is the ability to see and know what's best. It's something that we get more and more of over time as we grow as people and in our faith. And throughout history, the writers of the Bible have documented that if we want wisdom, all we have to do is ask God to give it to us. That sounds like a pretty good place to start, right? So basically, there's wisdom in choosing patience. When we have to wait, when we're struggling with a situation in our life, when someone in our life is trying us, the wise person responds with patience. But what does that actually mean? Once God gives us wisdom and helps us become more patient, what does that actually look like in our lives? Well, let's read the next part of this verse to find out. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense. Proverbs 19:11b. According to Solomon, choosing patience means choosing to overlook or look past an offense. In other words, it's choosing to let it go. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about someone hurting you physically or emotionally. I'm not talking about the wrongs or offenses that happened repeatedly and oftentimes in secret. Those things need to be dealt with in a way that helps you find the healing and support that you need. In fact, one of the ways that you can do that is by getting help from an adult, like a person you live with or your small group leader. And if that's something that you're facing, I hope you'll talk to an adult you trust today. The offenses, the wrongdoings, and the frustrations that we're talking about right now and right here are the things that test your patience. When someone bothers you, annoys you, or hurts your feelings, you have the chance to practice patience. You have the opportunity to let go and choose to move on. While you may want to react, wisdom helps you choose a different and better way. It helps you choose patience. And when you do, Solomon said that's actually to your glory. In other words, it's for your benefit. It will help you. It's the coolest, greatest, most amazing thing that you can do. It's a big deal. Although glory sounds way cooler. Patience matters. If you want to be wise, practice patience in situations where it's hard to be patient. Choose to be kind instead of yelling at your younger sibling. Choose to not roll your eyes at the adults in your life and actually listen to what they're saying. Choose to show your friend grace when they're late over and over and over again. Choose to be patient with the people in your life and the situations that are frustrating. Let patience be part of the life that God has for you. Of course, this isn't always going to be easy. So to help you get started, try asking yourself these 3 questions. 1, who or what in my life makes me impatient? 2, how do I respond when I'm impatient? And 3, how would patience make this situation better? Remember, wisdom helps us win at life. It's the cheat code that helps us find more patience when we need it. Patience is powerful. It has the ability to do a lot of good for you and the people around you. And that's part of living the life that God wants for all of us. Listen, I know that this is easier said than done. And sometimes choosing patience is the absolute last thing that we want to do. That's when we need other people in our lives to remind us that we can and should do it. I'd love for some of those people to be your small group. You see, we have small groups so that you can have a safe place to open up, to be encouraged, and have friends to support you in the process. So today, I hope you'll take time to share with your small group about this conversation. And as you go, I want you to think about this question. What's one area of your life where you struggle with patience?